Hey, my name is Eric. In today's video, we're talking about starting an LLC in Massachusetts. So in this video, I'm not only going to show you 3 different ways that you can do this, but also 3 things that you should be aware of that may create potential cracks in your LLC. Now, if you're not familiar with the terms such as piercing the corporate veil, registered agents, or in your case in Massachusetts, it's called a resident agent, or the term commingling funds, you're definitely going to want to watch this video because I'm not only going to show you how you can set up an LLC, but make sure that it's actually protected and doing what it's supposed to do for you and your business. Now, the first screen that we're on here comes from nolo.com. This is just a very reputable website written by attorneys, and you can see that it's talking about the current filing fee of a certificate of organization. So setting up for an LLC in Massachusetts is $500 by mail and $520 for an online filing. So it is an extra $20 to file online, which is ridiculous because it should cost less, you would think. But I just wanted you to know that fee, no matter what route you go to set up your LLC in Massachusetts, you're going to pay that fee. So if you do it yourself through their state website, through an online legal tool, or even if you go through an attorney, they may bake that fee into their cost structure, but you're going to pay that $500. Now, if you want to do it yourself going through the state website, this is the URL that you would do that through. Know that all resources that I'm mentioning in this video are in the description below. So you can go to the description and click through to get any of these resources. If any of them are paid links, I will let you know that in advance. But my goal with this video is not to steer you necessarily in one direction or the other, but to give you all the information so that you can make the best decision for yourself. Now, if you're looking at this, the 2 methods you can go here is file online, which in my opinion is one of the most difficult states to do this within. I've never come across this before, but you can see here it says if you don't have a CID and PIN, please contact our office with their email address. So basically you have to email their office, then get a customer ID number and PIN number, and then be able to go through the process. And it is going to cost you an extra $20 if you go online. So some people may be deterred by that, especially because it's talking about like you need a browser capable of 128-bit encryption, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of hoops to jump through. So some people may want to go the route of the PDF here. Now, the interesting thing though about this PDF is it's very vague with the amount of information and guidance it gives you. So if we scroll down and we look at section 5 here, it says the name and street address of the resident agent in the Commonwealth. So I don't like the fact that they just kind of gloss over this and say like, who is your resident agent? And the reason for that is if you don't have a proper resident agent set up for your business, and I'll explain what all that is in a minute, it can create what I was talking about earlier is cracks in your LLC. So this might be a good time to explain what an LLC is and what it is not. You probably understand, but sometimes people get a little bit confused. Some people think they're going to set up an LLC for tax purposes. There's no tax advantage for setting up an LLC. The advantage of setting up an LLC is limiting your liability. So when you have your business, you have your business assets, and then you also have your personal assets. So in the business, it could be the office space, the income that you're generating, etc. But then on your personal side, it could be your personal home, personal bank account, cars, all of those things. So when you set up an LLC, what you're doing is you're drawing a division between your personal and business assets. Now, if you were to be sued for some reason, the attorney who is suing you is going to try to find cracks in your LLC. And you might remember earlier I talked about a term called piercing the corporate veil. So that's like the technical legal jargon, but basically what they're trying to do is find a crack in your LLC. And one of the ways they may be able to do that is if you don't have a proper resident agent set up for your LLC. And one of the things I don't like by going through the state website is they just kind of really gloss over things. They just say, what's the name, street address of the resident agent in the Commonwealth? To me, that's kind of doing a disservice to the person getting set up because it's not explaining what the resident agent is. So why don't we take a look at what a registered agent is? So if we go to this blog post here from InkFile, which is an online legal tool that you can set up with an LLC, and we scroll down a little bit, this is really helpful here. So down here it says, are there other names for a registered agent? So it's known by different names in different states. In Massachusetts, as we saw, it is called a resident agent that you can see right here. So if we go back here, you can see that is mentioned as well here. Some states call it a statutory agent, for services of process, or commercial registered agent. So what does that registered agent actually do? In your case, resident agent. Official letters and correspondence from your Secretary of State. So any kind of information that's coming through, they kind of act as a third-party go-between between you and the state. Service of process notices. So if your corporation or LLC is sued or needs to appear in court, for example. So if an attorney is suing your company because their client slipped and fell at your business, or fill in the blank, the million ways you can get sued, they are going to make sure that you're showing up and getting that documentation. The third section here, official federal government correspondence information and notifications. Fourth bullet point, tax forms and requests for payment. And fifth bullet point, request to complete permits, company filings, or reports. So what that registered agent is doing is they're just making sure that you're compliant and crossing your T's, dotting your I's for your LLC. So the reason that's important too is you want a registered agent that is within the state lines. So in your case, you want to make sure that that resident agent, I should be saying, is in your state. And I really just don't like the fact that they just kind of leave this very vague, right? So a lot of people, they may end up like filling out section 5 here and saying, it's my cousin Sarah, she's my resident agent because I'm going to save a few dollars and I'm going to put her information in here. But she actually doesn't know what she's doing as resident agent. Maybe she's not forwarding you the correspondence or making sure that you're, keeping up on your annual reports. And when that happens, what can happen is you have a crack in your LLC. So then when that attorney comes after your business, what they're going to do is they're going to try to pierce the corporate veil. And then if they're able to do that, they're not only going to be able to come after your business assets, but your personal assets as well. So that is why understanding what piercing the corporate veil means and what a proper registered agent, or in your case, resident agent is so important. So what we're going to be talking about further in this video is commingling funds, because that's another way that you can have a crack in your LLC, but we're going to get to that in a little bit. So going through the state website, in my opinion, it's fine, but I don't like the fact that they don't give you more guidance and information on sections such as this. Now, if you do want to go through a service like InkFile, there's a lot of online legal tools. There's LegalZoom, ZenBusiness, InkFile. So the reason that I like InkFile though is that it's $0 plus your state fee. Now, if you're anything like me, you might be wondering okay, what's the catch kind of thing? So I'm going to get into that and how they actually make their money. Before we get to that, you kind of see that they have over 250,000 businesses launched since 2004. And then they also were honored as one of the 360 best entrepreneurial companies in America by Entrepreneur. So what you would do if you use this service, and again, this link will be in the description below. This is an affiliate link that I'm going to be providing for them. The way that works is if you use it, I do get some income, but I always recommend this service because it's reputable. But on top of that, it's free for you. So here I'm going to show you how that works. You would select LLC, state formation, and then we're going to go to Massachusetts. So now you can see that there are 3 packages that pop up here. There's silver, gold, and platinum. Now, for the silver package, this is where you can see the $520. So that's for filing online through the state, but then $0 package fee. And one of the things I want to highlight here is the free registered agent service for a year. Now, I mentioned earlier, how are they actually making their money if people are just doing the silver package? Obviously, if people upgrade to gold and platinum, then they're kind of making some money on the package fee. So why don't we go back to this article here on InkFile? As you remember, we were looking at this. If you scroll down further on this post here, and you see this line right here, it's even free for the first year when you incorporate with InkFile, and then it's just $119 annually after that. So the way that InkFile works is that first year, your registered agent service is free, but then ongoing, it's $119. So when you do go with the silver package, understand that the year 2, year 3, you're gonna have a $119 fee for that registered agent service. Even if you don't go with their service, because you don't have to continue using their registered agent service in the future, I'd recommend it the first year because it's free. It's definitely something that you want to go through a professional service just to make sure you're, again, dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Now, one of the reasons some people like to go with the gold and platinum, for the gold, it's the EIN business tax number. That is something that you'll have to set up on your own if you do the silver package. Very easy to find here. You can just put in EIN IRS, right? And you can click apply here. I will include this link in the description below. This is going to walk you through what you need to do. Also, a good link here is this one right here if you actually need an EIN. Most people setting up with an LLC, by the way, 80% of all new entities set up are LLCs, so you're in good company. But this will walk you through if you actually need an EIN and how to apply for it. I had to do this for my own business, so all the information I'm giving you right now is all stuff that I had to research. I'm not an attorney or a CPA, but I have done a lot of research on this, as you can see, and I do know that it was a pain in the butt applying for the EIN by myself. But if you are trying to save money, you can do that yourself. Also, another thing to be aware of is the business banking account that I've highlighted down here. Now, this is really important. So sometimes people, again, don't cross their T's, dot their I's, not to overuse that cliche. But when you have an LLC set up and you don't have a business banking account and you're running everything through your personal bank account, what that is called is commingling funds. And again, this is another crack in your LLC, because if you're to be sued, that attorney may try to pierce the corporate veil by proving that you are commingling funds and you have a personal bank account that you're using to buy groceries and fill up your gas tank, but then also using to pay invoices and collect money in your business. So when you're commingling funds, again, that's another crack in your LLC. That is why it's very important to get set up with a business bank account. As of right now, InkFile is doing that through Bank of America. Obviously, if you go and get set up with a business bank account yourself, that is free to do as well. But that's something that they add on here as a free add-on if you were to go with the gold package. So the thing that I like about InkFile is that they can really run you through these packages pretty easily. So if I was to go get the silver package, you just put in your information here, your mailing address, and you can see that we're about 25% done here. One thing worth highlighting is the tax saving benefit. This is a fully deductible business expense. So just know that when it comes to tax time that you are deducting that yearly fee, $520 the first year, $500 after that. And then it's just a really simple process going through and getting set up with InkFile, as opposed to going through this PDF with very little information or additional resources. Now, the third route that you might want to consider is going through with an attorney. Now, why would you want to go through with an attorney? If you're just nervous about setting it up yourself through InkFile or the online tool from the state website. If you have a more complex business model, perhaps you're doing sales out of state, in state, you've already been generating income, you may want to go through an attorney. Another thing to consider too is if you have a business that's already netting $40,000, $50,000 a year in income, then there might be a different way to set up your business structure that might make sense for you. If you're just getting started and you don't even have any income coming in, that might be overkill. But one of the services that I like is Avo. It's a lawyer directory service. I'm not affiliated with them in any way as of right now, but I just like them because I've used them in the past for some of their services. They have a pretty neat feature too that you can actually submit questions and lawyers will answer them for free on their forums. But what we're looking at right here are Massachusetts Limited Liability Company LLC lawyers. But you can see there's 64 results here, which is quite a bit. So what you can do is go down here and then filter your results. And I want to give you only 4 stars and up. So now we're at 24 results. And then if we go down again, if you click this box right here for free consultation, now what you're looking at are 8 attorneys that are in Massachusetts, and they all offer a free 15-minute phone call consultation with you so that you can kind of get initial questions and things answered. So if you do have a complex business model, you may want to go this route. Again, I will include this link in the description below. I do not get any income from it. I just find it to be a really helpful resource. Now, if you remember earlier, I did mention the fact that you can also potentially save on taxes if you're set up in a different structure. So on the screen right here, you can see an InkFile review that gets a little bit more into the weeds for InkFile. But around the 2:30 mark of that video is where I talk about the difference between an LLC and an S Corp. So if you're already generating $40,000, $60,000 of net income in your business, you may want to watch that video just to see what that's all about. So again, guys, links in the description below. If you do sign up with InkFile, I will receive a commission, but I truly appreciate it because it helps support my YouTube channel and my family and what I'm trying to do here on YouTube. All right, guys, I'll catch you in that next video.